Hello everybody! My name is Liv. Welcome to Liv Talks. This is the channel where I talk. I talk about my many ups and downs of my spiritual journey because there are many ups and downs in my spiritual journey. Oh my God. And today I have this huge theme for everybody which has to do with surrendering. To start with the theme of surrendering, I need to read to you what I wrote this morning, which is a reminder. Reminder, big letters. Everything is magical and easy when I'm in the frequency of surrender. When I worry, I go back to this hard reality. Reality is a frequency. I want to talk to you about what I learned today about surrender, frequency, and reality. Hopefully this will serve as a reminder for myself. If I ever forget again, I can just watch my own YouTube videos instead of watching everybody else's YouTube videos like I normally do. But since last video I told you about listening to yourself, I want to also listen to myself more. That being said, what happened? A couple of videos ago, I was still in this red chair and I was just sharing how my crown chakra was huge and I was in this energy of surrender and everything was just going my way and felt like magic miracles, everything was aligned. It was magical and it was really, really amazing to be in that frequency. It felt like ease, like happiness, like everything was just perfect in life. And then slowly but surely, my energy started trickling down. Why? I was trying to understand why I got out of my surrender and happiness. But as I was trying to understand why, my mind was looping, like trying to understand. And that is one of the mind's tricks, to try to understand something instead of just letting it go. I was trying to understand because I don't want to repeat this of, oh, let's me not, trickle down. What did I do? Did I give way too much energy to people? So I'm going to share a little bit of the process that I went through because, yeah, I'm a Gemini and I question everything and I try to understand everything. So I was thinking, okay, I was at the top of my happiness and now I'm at the bottom. How did I reach the bottom? And this is knowing that life is cyclical and we go up and down, up and down, up and down. And the whole purpose of this whole up and down is to just keep things moving and keep going and keep evolving, right? So I was up, happy, woo, life is amazing, surrendered, crown chakra, huge. And now I'm here, lost, angry, thinking that everything is difficult. I was listening to the voices in my head saying, oh, you're not going to make it. Oh, it's going to be hard. Oh, it's too much work. Why bother? Da, 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 da. And one, it is important to listen to these voices here and there so you realize they are there. Because the key point here is that I heard them. And let me tell you this. I've had these voices in my head many, many years, and probably you too. Everybody kind of does. Hopefully not everybody, but hey, most people do. And we just don't hear them because they're so natural to our programming that we don't even hear them. And this time I heard them and I started questioning, why am I always like talking bad, judging myself? What are these voices? Are these even mine? Why am I why am I thinking these thoughts about myself? This is so not helpful. And then of course I went into the rabbit hole of trying to understand it, and I started thinking, oh, maybe I went out with this person, I didn't put out these boundaries, I leaked energy here, I gave too much here, blah, blah, blah. And I started trying to justify why I was feeling that way. And then obviously I went into the mode of, okay, that's all justifications because energy is never ending, so why am I depleted? It's not because I didn't keep my boundaries or because I gave too much to other people, because I believe we're all divine, and if we're all divine, we all have infinite amounts of energy to give away. So why am I thinking that I have a finite amount of energy to give? If I want to give endlessly, let me give endlessly. Let that not be, yes, I said that right, the reason why I feel sad. And then I remembered, oh, okay, I'm an emotional manifester. I have emotional waves. But I doubt these waves because I also have doubt in one of my conscious gates or unconscious gates of my human design and gene keys. Therefore, this loop loop, it's something natural in me. But this time around, I'm seeing it. And this is the key. I'm seeing it. And I'm here, still sitting here, trying to understand it. Why do I need to understand it? Why do I need to understand that I need to understand it? At this point, I thought I was going crazy. I thought, okay, this is what? This is insane. But I guess this is how we get out of the mind loops. To me, at least, it feels like a withdrawal from drugs, because the mind loops, the way we think, the neural pathways that are so forged, it's like an addiction to think these ways. It's an addiction to question things. It's an addiction. It's everything that we do habitually to get something out of it, some kind of satisfaction of, oh, I need to understand this because once I understand, I'm smarter and this gives me validation. Or once I understand this, I am in control and this gives me whatever, the illusion of control. Anyhow, the mind loops. And I was able to see how my mind was looping. And then when I caught a loop, the mind was like a little child caught up with the, how do you say, the hand in a cookie jar. And it just created another diversion and another excuse. And I swear, I recorded all of this in a voice note. And once I read it again, ooh, I even put in my voice note on CHAT GPT and I asked, am I crazy? And actually, ChatGPT was able to give me what was going on, what are the revelations that I had, and I was really surprised at that. Now, to go back to the beginning of the video where I was saying that surrender is a frequency, and it's the only frequency to be. These past days that I was going down, and I was thinking everything was going to be hard and difficult and impossible, and then I went into this mind loop, and I caught myself. Once I caught myself, the energy that I had was, I don't want to understand, God, please. Please, God, I don't want to understand, I don't need to understand, I just want to be. I just want to be. And at this moment, I was on the floor, kneeling, praying to God in full humility, surrender, humbleness, and it felt like everything was taken away from me, like a huge weight out of my shoulder. And I stayed there for a moment, just letting it be, just letting myself be, just forgiving myself for once more feeling this way, for once more going down this rabbit hole that is so familiar, and actually congratulating me a little bit for seeing it this time around and being more present with it. And I can tell you that, oh my God, kudos to me, thank you. All of the spiritual journey, all the meditation, all of the tools that I've learned, I was able to be present. I applied, I took deep breaths, I felt my body, I was embodied, I was present, and I let the emotional wave come and go and consume me for a little bit. Yes, I let myself be in the emotion, but I said, kind of like deep down, really deep down, there was this drop of light inside of me that I had never felt before so vividly. And this drop of light was aware, of what was going on. Was aware and was just calm, observing everything. Even though most parts of me were in turmoil, in chaos, in loops, in questioning, in crying, in surrendering, in all of these stages of, wow, it was a huge drama. This one part of me was just present, just observing, just aware. And not judging, not saying that was wrong or right. There were parts of me that were judging. Don't get me wrong, but there was one part of me. And I trust that part of me. And that part of me kind of brought me home. At the end, after all that was said and done, all my screaming, praying, crying, I was able to take a deep breath and connect to that part of me and feel peace again. And then I wrote this reminder, and I'm gonna remind myself again. Everything is magical and easy when I'm in the frequency of surrender. When I worry, I go back to this hard reality. Reality is a frequency. Reality is a frequency, and that means that you create your reality because you can create your frequency. And the way that I see how this works, now that I've seen it happen with me, is that it's cyclical, right? It's up and down. When you are up and you're open to the world and living your best life, everything is great. It's very openness. It's giving. It's sharing. It's it's pleasure, enjoyment, miracles happening. But then, like nature, there's a season to slowly come down, and that is actually mimicking all of the cycles of nature, not only planet Earth, but the zodiac signs or universe. There is winter, summer, and everything goes in cycles. If we talk about the Kala Yuga and the Yugas, it's the cycles of humanity, of the universe, of dark ages and gold ages, and like that's life. But what is the key here is that at some point in all of this loop of life, of the mind, there is a part of us that we have been cultivating or getting in touch with through meditation, through spirituality, through awareness, through compassion, through self-love, through many of these cliches of spirituality, that once you realize that they're not cliches, that you actually practice them, they become anchors. And through these anchors, we are able to stay in observer mode and come back to God and surrender, because we are not in control of anything except our own reality, in a way, which is a paradox, I know. Even I'm like, what, I just said that? Okay, it's a paradox. However, if we really consider that we're humans, we're mostly guided by the laws of nature, the laws of this universe, the law of attraction, the law of so many laws, 12 laws, 48 laws, 92 laws, so many laws. We're under laws and laws and laws, plus the society laws, which, and we just humble ourselves to the fact that if we surrender to God, to a higher power, we don't need to understand anything. We don't need to catch ourselves in anything. It just becomes a more natural process. And once we really let go of all these questions and loops of the mind and thoughts and ideas and it's gonna be hard, and the thoughts and words that we say that don't serve, and we go back to the essence, to the core, to the heart, to the love, love of ourselves, of this human journey. Let me tell you, life after I went through all of this was magical again. So I don't even say that I don't wish to go through any of this, because I see that that's the cycle. I'm up, and then I'm down, and then I'm up again, and then I'm down. It's just that the amount of time you stay down depends on how fast you can catch yourself in this illusion of being down, because it's not. You can just let go. You can just let go, let your frequency rise, and see life go your way again. Because when your frequency is high and you're surrendered, your will is the same as God's will, and God's will is the same as your will. So it's like the whole universe is doing exactly what you want. And when you're low and you're in resistance and you're not letting go, everything is in resistance. Nothing is going your way. Everything is difficult. Reality is so hard. And now I realize that suffering is definitely a choice. It's a single choice for everybody. And in any situation, in any moment in life, in any condition, whether you're in the worst condition and you're feeling chaotic, or you're in the best condition and you're feeling chaotic. And let me tell you that having the conditions not change, like I was still in this beautiful home, the ocean is still right in front of me, I still have food, I still have shelter, I still have safety. The conditions didn't change, just my mood changed, my emotions changed. And still being in a positive condition, right? And still feeling negative, it adds a layer of guilt that is amazing. Because one thing is that if you're unhappy and you're in unhappy conditions and you're in poverty and all these things, you kind of justify yourself for being in a bad emotional state. And people believe you and you believe yourself. But if you're in a good state, and that's why the whole idea of being rich and unhappy, or money doesn't buy happiness, is true. Nothing buys happiness. But of course, it's up to you to create good conditions for you and create happiness for you, because one is not, it's correlated. Yes, it is correlated. Of course, if you're not in survival mode, it's easier to let go and go up in the frequency scale. It is. But it's up to you to, even in survival mode, and I was in survival mode many years, to let go, to learn to let go even in the worst conditions, and then to apply that even in the best conditions, because at the end of the day, the worst and the best are just outside situations. What really counts is how you feel inside, and how you feel inside will then match your reality, your frequency. And so this is a reminder. Livia, remind yourself that you are divine, that you have the full power of letting go whenever you're low. Let go whenever you're low so you can ascend again. And I am not going to blame myself when I go down again, because I am sure I'm going to be down in the low again. And such is life. And hopefully I'll watch this video and remind myself that I can go up and down as many times as I can. And I am here surviving, loving me in this journey. And I hope this video has sparked something inside of you that you can follow, that you can recognize, that you can align with, that serves you. And if you find that it does serve you, like, subscribe for more, stimulating here the energy exchange. And if you feel like it serves somebody else, share. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.